I'm grateful for the opportunity to live on this astonishing planet we call home. Each morning, I wake with a quiet sense of gratitude, not for what I own, but simply for being alive to see another sunrise. Gratitude has a way of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. When you start to notice how much there is to be thankful for, life begins to soften around the edges. Colors feel brighter, people kinder, time slower. The secret to a beautiful life was never in having more. It's in seeing more of what's already here. Most people open their eyes each morning and see only what is missing. They see the problems waiting, the tasks undone, the goals still out of reach. But a few, the rare few, awaken and begin their day with gratitude. And for them, the same world looks completely different. It isn't because life gave them more, it's because they learned to see more. Gratitude is not an emotion, it is a discipline of perception. It trains the mind to look for the light, even when clouds are overhead. It reminds you that you are surrounded by miracles disguised as simple things: breath, sunlight, the laughter of a child, the steady heartbeat that has carried you through every storm. Without gratitude, life becomes a list of complaints. We become blind to what's good, deaf to what's beautiful, and numb to what's sacred. We start to think that happiness is something that arrives later, after success, after comfort, after approval. Happiness is already here, quietly waiting behind the noise of wanting. The richest man in the world can still feel poor if he forgets to notice his blessings, and the simplest woman, with nothing but enough to live, can walk through her day as though she owns the sunlight itself, because gratitude is wealth of the heart, not the hand. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It means recognizing that even in difficulty, something is still right. It means seeing the gift inside the trial, the lesson within the loss. For the person who learns to say thank you, even when life is not easy, discovers a strength that no misfortune can steal. A grateful heart is not naive. It is wise. It knows that the world owes us nothing, and that every breath, every smile, every chance to begin again is already more than we deserve. Gratitude removes the bitterness from effort, the heaviness from responsibility, and the emptiness from success. The beauty of gratitude is that it multiplies everything it touches. The moment you recognize something as a gift, it becomes greater. When you're grateful for time, it feels slower. When you're grateful for love, it feels deeper. When you're grateful for work, it becomes meaningful. Gratitude does not add new things to life. It reveals the value in the things already there. So before you ask for more, learn to see what's here. Before you chase another goal, take one quiet moment to thank life for what it has already given you. Because gratitude is not the end of ambition, it is the foundation of peace. To wake up grateful is to wake up alive. And those who live in that awareness discover the quiet truth that the secret to a beautiful life was never hidden. It was simply waiting to be noticed. Why gratitude is the foundation of peace and happiness. Every human being seeks peace. Every heart, no matter how restless, longs for stillness, a quiet confidence that life, in all its uncertainty, is still good. Yet peace and happiness remain distant for most, not because life withholds them, but because we look in the wrong places. We search for peace in achievement, in possessions, in approval. But peace is not found outside. It is found within, and gratitude is the key that unlocks it. Gratitude is the soil in which peace grows. It teaches the mind to focus on what is, instead of what is missing. The moment you become thankful, anxiety loses its grip. Discontent cannot coexist with appreciation. When you give thanks for what you already have, your heart stops chasing what it doesn't, and in that pause, happiness begins. Many people believe happiness is the result of perfect circumstances. They tell themselves, "I'll be happy when I earn more, when I travel there, when everything falls into place." But happiness built on conditions is fragile. It crumbles the moment life changes. Gratitude builds a different kind of joy, one that stands firm because it's rooted in awareness, not acquisition. A grateful person lives in the same world as everyone else, the same problems, the same storms, yet somehow they walk with peace. Why? Because gratitude shifts attention from what the world takes to what it gives. It turns the ordinary into treasure, the mundane into meaning. It allows you to look at a simple moment, a cup of tea, a conversation, a quiet evening, and see it for what it truly is, life itself. Peace is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of appreciation. When you practice gratitude, the storms do not disappear, but they lose their power to disturb you. You stop asking, "Why me?" and begin saying, "Thank you for the strength this is giving me." That shift changes everything. Happiness, too, is not a pursuit. It is a realization. It is born the moment you awaken to the abundance already around you. The more you notice, the more you receive, not because the world changes, but because your eyes do. Gratitude expands your capacity to feel joy. It reminds you that life doesn't have to be perfect to be precious. Gratitude gives birth to peace because it frees you from comparison. It silences the restless voice that says, "I'll be content when," and replaces it with, "I'm content now." And the miracle is, once you are content, more goodness naturally finds its way to you. So, if you wish to be happy, do not wait for the world to change. Start by changing how you see it. Look for what's right instead of what's wrong, what's present instead of what's absent. Because gratitude is not just the foundation of peace. It is peace itself, quietly realized in the moment you choose to see life as a gift. How appreciation rewires your brain for success. Gratitude is more than a pleasant emotion. It is a powerful mental discipline that changes how the brain works. It reshapes the very patterns of thought that govern how you perceive, react, and create. The moment you begin to live with appreciation, you are not just feeling better, you are thinking better, performing better, and living better. The human mind is a magnificent instrument, but it is also impressionable. Whatever it repeats, it begins to believe. Whatever it focuses on, it begins to build. Most people unknowingly train their minds to notice what's wrong: mistakes, inconveniences, disappointments. The brain, obeying the habit, keeps finding more of the same. Over time, negativity becomes a default mode of perception. But gratitude reverses that process. When you make a habit of appreciation, even for small things, your brain starts to rewire itself toward optimism, resilience, and clarity. It learns to spot opportunity instead of obstacle. It begins to interpret challenge as growth instead of punishment. This is not philosophy, it's conditioning. The more you practice gratitude, the more the brain associates awareness with safety and peace rather than worry and fear. Appreciation activates the mind's higher faculties: reason, imagination, creativity. When you are grateful, your thinking expands. You see solutions that once hid behind frustration. You listen more deeply, decide more calmly, act more effectively. Gratitude sharpens judgment because it quiets chaos. The clearer the mind, the greater its ability to succeed. True success, the kind that endures, always begins in thought. It begins when a person learns to direct their mental energy deliberately, not emotionally. Gratitude is that direction. It takes the wandering thoughts of fear and gathers them into focus. It anchors ambition in balance, ensuring that success is not pursued from lack, but from appreciation. When gratitude becomes your daily state, confidence follows naturally. You stop doubting your path because you stop needing everything to be perfect. You start believing that whatever happens, you can use it. The brain, conditioned by gratitude, sees possibility in every outcome. And that mindset, over time, is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. You can test this truth in your own life. Start each morning by recalling 3 things, no matter how simple, that you are thankful for. Do this not as ritual, but as awareness. Within weeks, you'll notice the shift. Your mind becomes lighter, your focus sharper, your patience stronger. What you once saw as burdens will start to look like opportunities for refinement. Appreciation builds momentum. It gives the mind something stable to return to when life becomes uncertain. That's why people of great peace and great achievement often share one habit: They are deliberate about gratitude. It is their anchor amid pressure, their compass amid confusion. Because gratitude does more than soothe the mind, it strengthens it. It teaches the brain that peace and progress are not opposites, but partners. And from that union comes a kind of success that no circumstance can threaten. The success of being fully alive, fully aware, and fully grateful. The difference between existing and truly living. There is a great difference between existing and truly living. To exist is to move through the days mechanically, to eat, to work, to sleep, to repeat, yet never feel the depth of what any of it means. To live is to see, to notice, to feel, to connect, to participate in the miracle of being here at all. And the bridge between those two states is gratitude. Existing begins when gratitude ends. When we stop appreciating the small things, we begin to lose sight of the great ones. The eyes grow dull, the heart grows tired, and life becomes a series of obligations instead of opportunities. The one who exists says, "I have to." The one who lives says, "I get to." The difference sounds small, but it changes everything. A woman can walk through her garden every day and see only chores, weeds to pull, soil to water, leaves to trim. Another woman, walking through the same garden, feels awe, life growing from the earth, color from the dirt, fragrance from silence. One exists, the other lives. The only difference is awareness. Gratitude restores that awareness. It slows you down just enough to recognize the richness in the ordinary. It reminds you that the world is not mundane, it's miraculous. Every breath you take is an exchange of life with the world around you. Every sunrise is an invitation to begin again. But most people rush past these gifts in pursuit of something they call more, not realizing that more has already been given. Existing is easy. It demands nothing but motion. Living, however, requires attention. It requires presence, a willingness to pause and appreciate. Gratitude is what brings the mind home to the moment. It gathers the scattered thoughts of what if and someday and says, "Here, now, this is enough." Those who live with gratitude walk differently. They listen more than they speak. They see more than they own. They find beauty where others see routine. Because for them, life is not something to endure. It is something to honor. To exist is to wait for joy. To live is to create it. And gratitude is the great creator. When you are grateful, the smallest acts become sacred. Washing a cup, sharing a meal, walking beneath the open sky. These moments stop being background noise and become reminders that you are part of something vast and good. The ungrateful heart moves through life as a tourist, always passing through, always searching for the next destination. The grateful heart moves as a resident, belonging fully to the moment, aware that paradise is not somewhere else, it's wherever you choose to notice it. So, if you ever feel that life has become dull or repetitive, don't run from it. Look closer. Slow down. Find something, anything, to thank life for. The sunlight on the wall, the sound of rain, the warmth of your own breath. Gratitude is not an escape from the ordinary. It is the rediscovery of it. For only when you are grateful do you truly begin to live. Simple ways to practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is not found in grand gestures or lofty speeches. It lives quietly in daily practice. It grows each time you pause, notice, and give thanks for what life so freely offers. A grateful life is not built by accident. It is built by intention, one small moment at a time. Begin with morning awareness. When you wake, resist the urge to rush. Before your feet touch the floor, take a slow breath and whisper, "Thank you." Not as a performance, but as a recognition. I am alive, and that alone is a miracle. This simple act resets the mind. It tells your thoughts that before anything is earned, something has already been given. Another sunrise, another chance. Practice noticing throughout the day. Gratitude grows with attention. Look for things to admire. Not just the obvious ones, but the overlooked details. the way light falls across your desk, the laughter you hear from another room, the taste of water when you're thirsty. The more you notice, the richer your day becomes. Life rewards the observer, not the complainer. Express gratitude often, aloud, and sincerely. Say thank you, not only when it's expected, but when it's not. Thank the shopkeeper for their patience, the colleague for their effort, the friend for their time. Appreciation voiced becomes energy shared. It lifts others and strengthens your own spirit. Gratitude unspoken fades. Gratitude expressed multiplies. End each day in reflection. Before you sleep, look back upon the hours that have passed and name 3 things, however small, that made this day meaningful. Write them down if you wish. This simple ritual closes the day with peace instead of worry. It teaches the mind to end in fullness rather than lack, so that even rest becomes a form of renewal. Turn gratitude into service. True thankfulness doesn't stop at words. It becomes action. Use your blessings to bless others. Lend a hand. Offer your time. Speak kindly. The person who shares what they've been given understands gratitude's deeper truth, that joy, when divided, grows. Be grateful in the challenge, not just the comfort. Anyone can say thank you when life is easy, but strength is built in the moments that test you. When trouble comes, look for the lesson within it. Ask, what can this teach me? What part of me is growing stronger because of this? That kind of gratitude transforms adversity into wisdom. It turns setbacks into strength. And finally, practice gratitude toward yourself. Thank yourself for enduring, for learning, for showing up. Appreciate your own effort even when no one sees it. You cannot be grateful for life while despising the person living it. Gratitude, practiced daily, reshapes how you move through the world. You become less reactive, more patient, more alive. Your presence begins to calm rooms, not because you have more, but because you need less. You start to realize that life is not asking you to chase happiness, it's asking you to notice it. So, begin today. Not with something extraordinary, but with something real. Because the secret to a beautiful life is not hidden in distant dreams. It's woven into the moments you're living right now, quietly waiting to be seen, appreciated, and loved. How grateful people create joy, no matter their circumstances. Gratitude does not wait for life to be easy. It chooses joy in spite of difficulty. It's the quiet strength that smiles even when there's nothing to smile about. The calm that whispers, "This too shall pass," when the world grows uncertain. Grateful people do not live without storms. They simply learn how to dance in the rain. When life tests them, they don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What can I learn?" They see meaning where others see misfortune. They understand that every event, pleasant or painful, is a thread in the tapestry of growth. Gratitude turns life's harshest lessons into gentle teachers. A grateful woman may lose what she thought she needed, but she will never lose her ability to notice what remains. A grateful man may face disappointment, yet he will still pause to honor the sunrise, to thank the day for continuing. This is not denial. It is mastery. It is the ability to see through the storm and recognize that light still exists beyond the clouds. Gratitude grants perspective. It lifts your mind above the moment so you can see the pattern beneath it. It reminds you that today's hardship may be tomorrow's wisdom, that endings often disguise beginnings. And once you learn to see that way, joy stops depending on what happens to you and starts flowing from within you. The grateful person has discovered a secret, that happiness is not something to find, it's something to express. It is not a reaction to good fortune, but a state of being that creates it. When your inner world is full of appreciation, your outer world begins to reflect it. People feel safer around you, opportunities seem to unfold more naturally. Peace follows you like a shadow because you have made gratitude your light. Gratitude does not erase pain, it redeems it. It does not remove challenges, it gives you the grace to face them. And in that grace, you find something rare, contentment without complacency. You no longer need life to go perfectly in order to live beautifully. The most joyful people in history, those who endured hardship, loss, or exile, shared this secret. They gave thanks even in scarcity. They looked upon difficulty and said, "There is still something here for me." They learned that gratitude is not about pretending everything is good. It's about knowing something good can come from everything. To live with gratitude is to stand at the center of life, calm, present, unshaken, while the seasons turn and the winds change. It's to know that happiness is not a gift you receive, but a power you cultivate. So when the world feels heavy, when plans fail, when the path ahead is uncertain, pause. Take a breath. Find one small thing right where you are to be thankful for. Because the one who can find gratitude in the dark has already turned the light back on. And that light, quiet, steady, eternal, is joy. So, gratitude is not something you find at the end of life's journey. It's the light that guides you through it. It is the language of peace, the posture of strength, and the secret rhythm of joy. When you live in gratitude, nothing is ordinary. Every sound becomes music, every face becomes familiar, every day becomes a gift. The world does not owe you beauty, but it reveals its beauty to the ones who are willing to see it. And once you learn to see that way, you realize that life has been generous all along. Wake up grateful, not because everything is perfect, but because you are still here, breathing, learning, becoming. For the person who greets each morning with thanks will never live a single empty day.